G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. This video we're going to be reacting to Filipino Food 101, some of the most famous dishes in the Philippines. As I told you, I'm from Australia. I've lived in the Philippines for 10 years. I've been coming here for 20 years. So I'm going to give you my opinion about what I think is the best foods and the best recipes in the Philippines. So let's get started and let's have a look.
On this video, I'll be sharing the top 10 most popular food in the Philippines. In no particular order, let's get started. First we have adobo. You can't go wrong with adobo, as this is probably the most popular dish in the Philippines. Some even consider this as the Philippines' national dish, which is of course still unofficial. It usually consists of pork or chicken, or sometimes both, stewed or braised in a sauce usually made from vinegar, cooking oil, garlic, bay leaf, peppercorns, and soy sauce.
If you're feeling hungry looking at this dish, there's a reason why. This is a fantastic dish. Lovely flavor. It doesn't matter whether you get the chicken, a beef, or a pork. Okay, adobo is just a really nice dish. I really like the chicken. I'm a big chicken eater. I've also seen it with pineapple chunks, which I really like. And there's another dish coming up that I've also seen with pineapple chunks. Just depends on the province, depends on who's cooking it and what their personal family favorite is. But adobo in any dish is fantastic. I really love that soy sauce and that liver paste taste. It's fantastic. And if the chicken's burnt.
There are also other variants of adobo, like seafood and squid adobo, which I will share to you on the upcoming cooking videos. So make sure to like and subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you'll be updated with the latest,
I'll leave a
delicious,
link
and
for
most
this guy's
exciting food
video because
videos
he is a
on this channel.
Filipino and he's a chef, so he knows what he's talking about.
Next we have Sinigang. This is probably the second most popular dish, or arguably the most popular dish in the Philippines. Sinigang is most often associated with tamarind in modern times, but it originally referred to any meat or seafood cooked in a sour or acidic broth similar to but differentiated from paksiw. Sinigang typically use pork, beef, fish, shrimp, and sometimes also chicken, stewed with tamarind, tomatoes, garlic, and onions. Most Filipinos like to cook sinigang with green long peppers in order to enhance the taste and add a little spice to the dish. Another variation includes adding locally made miso.
So this dish is synonymous with the Philippines and the taste is also synonymous with the Philippines. I really like it and I'm not big on Filipino food, but this is one that I really do like. If you go to a party, if you go to the restaurant, there's a big bowl of sinigang on the table at all times. It's something that everyone can take a piece from. Everyone has their own little bowl of it. It's kind of like what miso soup is to Japanese. Sinigang is the miso soup for the Filipino. You get different types. You can get a beef one, you get a hipon, prawn, and they normally have like a snake bean in it, and that's what gives it this particular taste. It's like an acidic vegetable taste, but it's really nice. I really like it. The only problem I don't like is they don't peel the prawns or the shrimp. They put it in whole, but that might add to the taste as well. But yeah, definitely try sinigang. You don't have a choice. It will be bought for you.
Up next is Caldereta. This one is what I consider the Philippine stew. Variations of this dish use beef, chicken, or pork. Commonly, the meat is stewed with vegetables and liver paste. Vegetables may include tomatoes, potatoes, olives, bell peppers, and hot peppers. This dish actually has a lot of variants, and I'll be showing how to cook each variant
Then
very
another good
soon.
one on this list, Caldereta is an all-time favorite. It's just a really nice stew. If you like an Irish stew, I like this one, the darker one. It's got a bit more tomato taste to it, which is better. But liver paste is a common ingredient through Filipino cooking. There's a lighter version which uses like a coconut cream. Okay, I'm not as big on that.
Next is tinola. Tinola is a Filipino chicken soup usually served as an appetizer or main entree. Traditionally, this dish is cooked with chicken, wedges of green papaya, chili pepper in a broth flavored with ginger, onions, and fish sauce. Some also use sayote or yellow papaya instead of green papaya for the dish. Personally, I prefer to use yellow papaya for this dish as it provides a more dynamic flavor.
I've asked many times what's the difference between Tanola and Sinigang, and I get lots of different answers, but they both taste pretty similar to me. It's still a lovely dish. If you like Sinigang, you'll like Tanola. I haven't tried this mango one. That looks fantastic. Um, yeah, I want to try that, but it's basically Sinigang.
Then we have sisig. Sisig is a Kapampangan dish made from parts of pig head and chicken liver, usually seasoned with calamansi, onions, and chili peppers. Lucia Cunanan of Angeles City, also known as Aling Lusing, has been credited with reinventing sisig by grilling the pig's ears and using the cheeks as well. The Philippine Department of Tourism has acknowledged that her Aling Lusing's restaurant had established Angeles City as the sisig capital of the Philippines in
Okay,
1974.
so Sisig is fantastic. Okay, even though it's made from pig ears, baboi ears, and all the cheekbone and all that sort of stuff. But that's what gets put into a Western sausage anyway, a pork sausage. When this is made right, it's fantastic. It's crispy. It's beautiful. It comes out on these skillets, and it's sizzling hot. Okay, it's half cooked and then cooks in front of you. Most restaurants put a raw egg on top, so you get like a omelette thing that goes on top of it. It's got chili. It's just really good finger food, great pub food. If you're having a drink with people, get this. Everyone picks at it.
By
It's
the
great
way,
food.
if you want me to make a food tour
And
video
this
at
guy's
Aling
from
Lusing's
Pampanga,
restaurant,
okay, which is where Angeles City, or Angeles City is in Pampanga. Papanga's the province. So I think he's from there. So there's lots of famous restaurants in Pampanga who invented these kinds of foods. So he's a chef, like I said. So I'm sure he's been. I think they've got some with hamsters and stuffed frogs and all sorts of amazing food in Papunga. But yeah, anyway, try that. It's great.
just let me know in the comments down below as I also live in Angeles City. Next is lechon. Lechon is a slow-roasted pig usually served during fiestas and other celebrations. It is usually served with a sauce called sarsa, which I call the Philippine gravy. It is made of liver, breadcrumbs, vinegar, sugar, and spices. Think of it as a sweet and savory gravy.
So this is basically a spit roast, what we'd call a spit roast in the West. It's just a full pig that's roasted on the spit, basically. The process is really interesting. When you go to the bigger places, it's all mechanized, of course, but the smaller ones, the family ones, they still have their kids out the back with their feet on the big wheel, and they'll sit there for 6, 7 hours at a time and they just walk on a wheel. They just sit on the seat and walk on the wheel and turn the pig. Um, it's really the pig that's the difference. Okay, this stuff is lovely, but I'd prefer an Australian pig. They've just got a different taste. The skin is a little bit different as well. In Australia, it's more bubbly, it's more crackling, like, whereas this is a harder skin. The sauce that he just described, the salsa, is really nice. Again, you'll see this theme of liver paste coming into Filipino cuisine. I personally like it, but I prefer applesauce. So I buy my own applesauce. But yeah, this is party food 101 for hundreds of people.
Leftover parts from the lechon, such as the head and feet, are usually cooked into another popular dish called lechon paksiw. More on that on the
And
upcoming
again,
videos.
that's another dish totally off this dish. Filipinos don't waste food. They use every single part of the animal, which is fantastic. So you'll have something that, like if we have a roast or something, we eat the leftovers in the morning. Same thing.
Then we have lumpia. Consider this as the Philippine egg roll. Filling is usually composed of ground pork with minced onions and carrots, seasoned with salt and pepper and other spices. Filipino lumpia can be differentiated from other Asian egg roll versions, as they use a paper-thin wrapper. It is usually served with sweet and sour sauce, banana ketchup, or seasoned vinegar.
It's just a spring roll, just like every other spring roll in the world. They just put different things in. Some women put different ones in. I like my mother-in-law's cooking. She makes some really nice ones. Hers are really thin, and then sometimes she makes like a really big one, and it just depends what on the person, and dip it in some sweet chili sauce or sour soy sauce or something like that. But it's basically just a spring roll, just different varieties. But yeah, they're nice, good finger food, party food, beer food.
Filipino lumpia also have a unique and extremely popular dessert subcategory, the turon. Watch out
Yeah,
for
that's
that
in one of
soon,
my other
so make
videos.
sure you
Turon is
subscribe.
just with banana and sugar. It's too sweet for me, but it's just a dessert version of spring roll.
Kare-kare. Kare-kare is a Philippine stew complemented with a thick, savory peanut sauce. It is made from a variation base of stewed oxtail. Vegetables, which include eggplant, Chinese cabbage, and other greens, are added, usually equaling or exceeding the amount of meat in the dish. Kare-kare is usually made of pork or beef, and sometimes
Yeah, so
also
you can
ox
hear
tripe.
Kuya here is definitely Pinoy. Okay, that pronunciation, that rolling of the tongue it's an RD sound. It's almost like kali kali. Yeah, and that's what's very hard for us. So we just have to resort to kari kari. Okay, now kari is a dish just like some dishes, traditional dishes. 50% of Filipinos love it, 50% hate it. Okay, so generally older people like this sort of meal. There's another one that's even worse than this called kalyos, okay, which is to me horrendous. Um, it looks great, it smells great, but the taste is definitely unique. The best explanation I've ever got was I used to work with an Irish guy, and he said, "Curry looks great, smells great, tastes like someone ate something great and then threw it back up on the bowl."
But this dish can also be made with seafood. Kare-kare is often served with bagoong, or more commonly known
Okay,
as
again,
shrimp
bagaong is
paste.
another specialty taste. That's a very strong fermented prawn paste. My mother-in-law has this on green mango, and you can smell it through the kitchen. She loves it. It's almost like a snack food for her. Again, older generation. If I gave that to my kids, they wouldn't like it at all. But it's just like a fermented shrimp paste. You can smell bugger ong everywhere. But yeah, not for me. I prefer the mangoes ripen, particularly Filipino mangoes, because they have the best mangoes in the world. But anyway,
Kare-kare is actually my personal all-time favorite, and I like it served with sweet and spicy bagoong. Bulalo. Bulalo is a light-colored soup that is made by cooking beef shanks and bone marrow until the collagen and fat has melted into the clear broth. It typically includes cabbage, corn, scallions, onions, garlic, ginger, and fish sauce. It is commonly eaten with rice and is served with soy sauce and calamansi on the side.
so if adobo is number one, this would have to be number two. This is one of my favorites. This is probably my favorite. We just call this osso buco, or lamb shank, or pork shank. But this stuff is beautiful, and I love the way that they use the fat of the marrow out of the bone. It goes into the sauce, and you can have, again, you can have prawns in this, you can have shrimp in this, you can have different types of things. But the best part is after, and the soup is just, it's great. They've got bits of pepper in it. It's fantastic. Go to Tagaytay. That's where you buy it.
And finally, we have Dokwat baboy, which actually means tofu and pork. It consists of pork ears, pork belly, and deep fried tofu, and is served in a mixture of soy sauce, pork broth, vinegar, chopped white onions, scallions, and red chili peppers. It is usually served as an appetizer, or as a meal served with rice, or as a side dish to rice porridge.
So I've only ever had that as a side dish. I'm not big on tofu. I like tofu in a soup or something like that when it's just boiled, but I'm not big on fried tofu. Um, I don't know why this has made the list. I would have thought crispy pata would have been up higher than that, which is like a deep fried pork leg, which is a lot better than that one. But like I said, this guy's from Pampanga, so maybe that's a local dish to his province. But it, again, you can see in all Filipino food, you don't waste anything. Okay, even pig's ears. Okay, that the sisig and stuff like that, in jowl and all those offcuts that in the West we give to dog food, it's traditional to eat here. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But in most cases it does work. But you get that trend that goes through Filipino food, like I said, with the liver paste, that taste that comes all the way through. And like, I'm old enough to remember when we were kids, we'd have kidney, we'd have liver, we'd have brain, we'd have lungs, we'd have all those things. They're still popular here because they just don't waste any part of the animal, which is fantastic. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. Like, subscribe, you know the drill with the algorithm on YouTube. I hope this has been informative. If you want me to do any other videos, or you've got any questions about being a foreigner in the Philippines, just leave a comment down below. I'm happy to answer it. And we'll see you again. And salada. We'll see you later.